Have you ever pondered the existence of tomorrow? This question may seem straightforward at first glance, but when we delve deeper, it unravels into a fascinating philosophical inquiry. What is tomorrow, really? Is it a tangible reality, or is it merely a construct of our minds? Let's journey into the realm of philosophy, where time itself is a topic of endless debate. Some philosophers argue that time is relative, that it's not an objective reality, but a subjective experience. From this perspective, tomorrow isn't a predetermined point in time waiting to unfold, but a mental projection of what could be. The ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus once said, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man." This suggests that the only constant is change, and that tomorrow, much like the flowing river, is a continuous transformation of today. Then there's the concept of presentism, a theory and philosophy of time that only the present moment exists. Future events, such as tomorrow, are not real until they become the present. This means that tomorrow is always just out of reach, a mere mental construct that we never truly encounter. However, the concept of tomorrow is not just a philosophical quandary, it's central to our human experience. It's the foundation of our hopes, dreams, and ambitions. Tomorrow is the canvas upon which we sketch our plans and aspirations. It's the promise of a fresh start, the prospect of progress, the allure of the unknown. In this sense, the concept of tomorrow is integral to our consciousness. It shapes our perception of life, motivates us to strive for a better future, and gives us something to look forward to. So, what is tomorrow? Is it a factual reality waiting to happen, or is it an illusion, a construct of our consciousness? The answer may vary depending on one's perspective. Yet, one thing remains certain: the enigma of tomorrow continues to fascinate us, to challenge our understanding, and to inspire our imagination. So, in the philosophical realm, tomorrow may be just an illusion, a construct of our consciousness. Now let's dive into the scientific perspective. Does tomorrow really exist in the universe, or is it just our perception? In the realm of physics, time is a fundamental concept, and yes, that includes tomorrow. It's not just some abstract idea we've conjured up to make sense of our lives. In fact, it's deeply woven into the fabric of the universe. You see, the laws of physics, particularly the second law of thermodynamics, play a crucial role in our understanding of tomorrow. This law states that the total entropy or disorder in an isolated system can only increase over time. This gives us the arrow of time, the direction from the past, through the present and into the future, forging our concept of tomorrow. This isn't to say tomorrow is a fixed, unchangeable entity, quite the contrary. The universe is dynamic and constantly evolving, and so is our concept of tomorrow. It's an ongoing journey, forever inching forward, forever out of reach, yet always just a day away. Now let's touch on a topic that has fascinated mankind for centuries: time travel. If we could travel through time, would tomorrow still hold the same meaning? Well, according to Einstein's theory of relativity, time is not absolute but relative to the observer. So, if you could hop into a spaceship and travel near the speed of light, you could theoretically slow down time and arrive back on Earth in what would be your future, essentially skipping over many tomorrows. However, this idea, while fascinating, doesn't negate the existence of tomorrow. It merely changes our perception of it. Whether we're moving at a snail's pace or zipping around at near light speed, tomorrow is always there, waiting for us. So, from a scientific standpoint, tomorrow isn't just a figment of our imagination. It's a fundamental part of the universe, a product of the laws that govern everything from the tiniest particles to the largest galaxies. Hence, in the scientific world, tomorrow is a concrete reality, dictated by the laws of the universe. Moving from the scientific to the cultural, how have different cultures perceived tomorrow? Let's take a journey around the globe to explore this fascinating question. In many Western societies, the concept of tomorrow is locked into a 24-hour cycle. It's a future that's always 24 hours away, a part of time that we're always chasing but can never reach. But this isn't a universal concept. In some cultures, tomorrow is seen as a fluid, ever-changing entity. The Aymara people in the Andean highlands, for instance, perceive tomorrow as something behind them, not ahead. Their linguistic expressions suggest that the future is unknowable, and therefore is behind them where it can't be seen, while the past is before their eyes. Quite the reverse of how it is in many other cultures, isn't it? In contrast, among the Hopi tribe in North America, there is no concept of tomorrow in the way we understand it. They have a cyclical view of time, where events recur in a circular pattern rather than linear. For them, tomorrow is not a new day but a continuing cycle of life. In Aboriginal Australian cultures, the concept of dreamtime encapsulates their view of time. It's a sacred era in which ancestral totemic spirit beings formed the creation. For them, tomorrow doesn't exist as a separate entity, but is a continuation of a timeless spiritual cycle. Let's not forget the role of tomorrow in folklore and mythology. In Greek mythology, for example, the god of tomorrow, Orion, was believed to hold the power of prophecy, symbolizing the uncertainty and potential of what each new day might bring. Thus, cultural perceptions of tomorrow vary greatly and are deeply ingrained in societal norms and beliefs. From the Andean highlands to the outback of Australia, from Native American tribes to ancient Greek mythology, the concept of tomorrow is as diverse as the cultures that perceive it. It's a reminder of the rich tapestry of human thought and the myriad ways we make sense of the world around us. So, what does tomorrow mean in our everyday lives? Well, in its most literal sense, tomorrow is simply the day after today, the next step in the perpetual march of time. But in reality, it's so much more than that. Tomorrow is a concept that holds immense power over us. It's an idea that influences our decisions, shapes our goals, and colors our perception of life. We constantly find ourselves planning for tomorrow. We save money for a rainy day, we study for the promise of a brighter future, we eat healthily to prolong our lives. We do all these things and more not for today but for the promise of tomorrow. Tomorrow is a powerful motivator. The prospect of a new day can spur us to action, pushing us to achieve our goals and fulfill our dreams. It fuels our ambition and drives our determination. Tomorrow is the promise of a fresh start, a chance to rectify our mistakes and improve upon our successes. But tomorrow is also an unknown, and this uncertainty can be unsettling. We can plan and prepare, but there's no guarantee that things will go as expected. This uncertainty can lead to anxiety and stress. We worry about what the future will bring, whether our plans will come to fruition, whether our efforts will pay off. The concept of tomorrow also has a profound psychological impact. It reminds us of the fleeting nature of time, of the inevitability of change. It makes us aware of our mortality but also gives us hope for the future. In essence, tomorrow is a double-edged sword. It brings with it the promise of opportunity, but also the threat of uncertainty. It motivates us to strive for better, yet it also reminds us of our vulnerabilities. Despite its uncertainties, the concept of tomorrow is a necessary part of our lives. It gives us something to look forward to, a reason to keep going, a goal to strive for. It encourages us to dream, to plan, to aspire. In our daily lives, tomorrow is a beacon of hope and a source of anxiety, all at once. In conclusion, is there a tomorrow? We've journeyed through the enigmatic labyrinth of this question, exploring its dimensions from various perspectives. As we stand at the precipice of understanding, we find ourselves faced with a paradox. From a philosophical standpoint, tomorrow is a mirage. It's always a step ahead, always out of reach. No matter how we chase it, tomorrow remains an elusive specter, a ghost of time that we're forever pursuing but never quite grasp. It's a reflection of our human yearning for what's next, our insatiable hunger for the future. Yet, science paints a contrasting picture. In the realm of physics, tomorrow is a concrete reality. It's the inevitable consequence of the relentless march of time, an unyielding fact. The Earth will continue to spin on its axis, the sun will rise, and the calendar will turn. In the eyes of science, tomorrow is as real as the air we breathe. Culturally, the concept of tomorrow varies greatly. It's a canvas on which societies paint their hopes, dreams, and fears. For some, tomorrow is a beacon of hope, a promise of better times. For others, it's a source of dread, a harbinger of uncertainty and change. The notion of tomorrow, therefore, is as diverse as the cultures that conceive it. And in our daily lives, tomorrow is a practical necessity. It's the framework that helps us organize our lives, plan our futures, and make sense of our past. Without the concept of tomorrow, we would be adrift in the sea of time, lost without a compass. Tomorrow, then, is a paradox, a concept that simultaneously exists and doesn't. It's a testament to the complexity and diversity of the human experience. It's a reminder of our capacity to perceive, interpret, and shape the world around us. And in the end, perhaps that's the most fascinating thing about tomorrow. It's not just a day, it's a reflection of who we are.